Hello, everyone. King Rich here, and hey, look at this. We're at home. Not over the road today, and being able to sit at my desk, got all my regular setup, really excited to be here. So today is going to be a different type of video than what I've done previously. We've had some comedy videos, we've had a song, and we've done some tutorials. Today we're going to be doing kind of like a walkthrough. Not a walkthrough in a sense of a tutorial or how to do something. Today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite ships in the game, the Origin 890 Jump. Now, those of you who play Star Citizen are going to be very familiar with it. There are missions related to it. The 890 boarding and progress mission, where you need to breach into an 890 jump that has been taken over by pirates and clear those pirates out. Um, if you're not familiar with the 890 jump, it is currently the preeminent super yacht. Let's get right into it. That behind me is the engine cluster of the 890 jump. I mean, I'm standing a good distance away from it, and it just absolutely towers over everything. It is most assuredly a pain to get out of atmosphere. I mean, it is just, you have to sit there and have all power to the thrusters facing the ground for quite a bit of time before you can get this thing off. I mean, just the size of its landing gear, astounding. It, when I first saw one, when I started playing Star Citizen, I was baffled that you would even be able to pilot a ship of this size. My previous space MMOs that I played, mostly EVE Online, and I knew that ships got large. Largest ship that I owned was either a dreadnought or a carrier. I never crossed into Titan territory, and I mean the Titans are, 15, 16, 17 to 20 kilometers long. This is um, round about 900 meters, if I'm remembering correctly. So, a small battleship size as far as EVE Online is concerned. But the fact that you pilot this in the way that you pilot in Star Citizen is insane. So let's go ahead and go inside. From the underneath here, we see this is the cargo or vehicle bay, and there's a way to drop that down. But we are going to pretend that we have booked a ticket aboard the 890 Jump, and it's landed here at New Babbage on Microtech. Um, there are multiple ways in, which I'll show you in just a moment, but we're going to take the VIP elevator. So we're going to go to this beam of light here, and it's going to call down this elevator. Now, it takes a moment to get here because there are floors, a ship with multiple floors. Doesn't sound like a lot if you've played Star Citizen, but if you're joining us for the first time in the studio today, it's astounding. I'm going to go ahead and climb up here. The lighting elements, I have to give major credit to the lighting team of this game. Just even with the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, sponsored by Drake Interplanetary, the all of the red lighting that they have there, as well as the lighting in all of the ships, it just really adds to the space. So when we step off the lift here, we come right out into this entry foyer. To our right and left are the docking collars. Um, if you have a ship with a docking port in the future, or if you are coming in to dock at a space station, these are the airlocks for that. So we have spaces for EVA suits and things like that. And this is where the dock would actually connect. So if we were boarding the 890 from a space station like Port Tressler, one of these is the entrance that we would come in. So we come in through the entry foyer, and we have this beautiful, beautiful either resin or glass floor, and underneath is a marble with gold inlay. Just a simple design that as you're walking through, you don't really think about it, but if it wasn't there, you would know that there's missing something. It's got great signage on the ground for telling you where to go. The central module is this direction, and we're going to head inside. Beautiful panoramic windows on the top and on the sides. And you'll notice that we have one and we have two here. There are a total of four staterooms across the ship here. So we're going to go into this first one. When I point them out, they're all the same, just maybe reversed or mirrored um, in different locations. Uh, Very Origin inspired seat. You know, a lot of those organic, round, smooth lines. Little workstation here for you to get your work done. Beautiful fish tank display. This giant white panel here, my understanding is in the future, this is going to be a screen of some sort. Maybe it'll tell you the news, the weather, some information about your local area. But that's what's in place right now is this white screen. Uh, you've got your nice bed. Judging by the average height of my character, I would say that's probably queen sized. Um, Maybe it's a full. It doesn't quite look to be uh, a king, but I don't know. Maybe star citizens are just giant people, and my character is actually 7.5 feet tall. Just the little accents that they put around. Cigar case with a cigar ashtray, a chess or checkerboard, some books, humidor case with cutter. Looks like a butane or some sort of futuristic type fuel lighter. Who knows? Maybe there's a little nuclear reactor in there. This is the future after all. Inside this door here, you have your private restroom. Now, the toilet is a toilet. I mean, yeah, it looks spacey. It looks functional. You look like you have some settings here, plus and minus button. Maybe that's some seat heat going on. If you like your seats pre-warmed, um, looks like a little nozzle here for a bidet. But what's most exciting in here is this shower. I mean, it is just you've got the shower section and a headrest. So this turns into like a jacuzzi spa bathtub. You could definitely use that as a place to sit. Um, Nice waterfall shower, both privately if you're just wanting to take care of things by yourself over here, or you have this entire headboard that this roof here that is all waterfall. Just the amount of luxury. It must be incredible to stay aboard the 890 jump. Again, those organic sweeping lines um, from Origin showcased in the sink. And that's one of the staterooms. It would not be a bad place to stay if you're going to book a trip. This is the cruise that I would want to take. The plants. Obviously, in the future, things may be easier to accomplish that might seem out of this world to us. But having live growing plants on board of a ship that aren't there for things like food, it's really showing off, is what it is. Like, hey, I can keep the internals of my ship in such a way that I can support life. You know, I can get the nutrients to the soil. I can have the plants grow, and it's strictly there for aesthetics. That's showing off right there. Nice little seating area here. Possibly you're waiting for your friend or to get on, things like that. Let's go ahead and head upstairs. We'll take care of this room first. Nice art feature. At the top, almost like a social gathering place. You know, a couple of these chairs are pointed inwards towards each other for conversation. Same with here. And then a couple of these chairs are pointed inwards but also facing outside the panoramics. I imagine people could be absolutely crowded all along this upper pavilion here and having some seats. Possibly they have some cocktails in their hand and they're just enjoying the sights from the windows as we go by. Some more seating here. Possibly you could have a public game of space chess, space checkers, um, without taking somebody back to your room. Through this door here, this is going to be like the captain's area. Uh, Couple of waiting chairs that are angled towards each other. You want to have a discussion. To our left here, through this angled door, this will be the captain's office. Got a couple of very fine, very expensive space liquors here. Radagast, Dolan, Jinx, Blackbeard, Sky, Tavarian Ghost, as well as a humidor box with cigars. Uh, Captain's office chair. Looks like he can put some sort of tablet here for working. Also have meeting with people, while also a big, beautiful window seeing out the back. My favorite little accent in this is the 890 jump model. You know, Captain will never forget which ship he's currently in command of. This is the captain's stateroom. Nice, wide, extended. This is definitely a much larger bed. Some hanging areas for clothes. Um, you've got a private screen here. Inside this room, the captain's restroom, same design with the toilet and the shower bath combo. Um, just a little bit less cluttered because the captain has everything he needs all throughout here. Um, Heading up this small staircase here, the captain's private dinette. He'll have a dining area here where he can sit and enjoy his meals in peace. Maybe he has some family members aboard. They can eat here, or private guests that want to meet with the captain, they can eat in here. The captain's private kitchen. This will have his glasses, utensils, a private selection of food that his wait staff can procure for him. The captain doesn't do anything himself. No, no, that's what the staff is for. I suppose possibly that this could be used as an extreme VIP guest if they want to rent this whole back out. Um, but I like to think of it as that's where the captain or the actual owner of the vessel stays. Though if this was a commercial vessel um, operated by RSI Voyages, Origin Voyages, um, then I imagine they would rent that room out so that no sense. I mean, all of the crews are they're going to be workers and staff, so let them stay in the crew area, rent that space out. But privately owned vessel like this one, yeah, that's my room. That's where I'm going to stay. Up through this door, we have the main bridge. Some avionics and storage lockers on the side. Beautiful, just utilizing the space and the lines of the ship. Climbing up into here, you have the pilot seat and two co-pilot seats. Now, the 890 is definitely not a combat vehicle, but it's also not going to sit there and take it if you try and pillage its goods. One co-pilot seat has access to 4 missile turrets, with 32 missiles located, shared between them, located around the ship. And the other co-pilot has access to 4 remote laser turrets, currently equipped with Panthers, if I'm not mistaken. They might be a little bit smaller, I don't quite remember, but laser turrets nonetheless. As well as there are 2 manned turrets on the ship. The first one is all the way at the nose in that little triangle area there. It pops out, and then there's one that extends below to get the underside. Definitely a formidable foe. It wouldn't engage in combat itself, I don't think, um, but it will defend itself by all means necessary, and it's very important guests on board. I like that it has this pilot seat that extends up and down. It comes down to allow you to climb up into it, but you definitely want to gain some of that height. You've got this long nose to look out over, so you definitely want to be sitting up high, so you can see the end of it and have good view. That little triangle area, or that larger triangle area there, is actually a hangar. You can fly smaller ships in. Maybe you're giving exploration tours, or you want to pick somebody up from a moon planet side, don't want to take the whole ship down. You can just take the small ship that's parked in there, fly it out and fly it back. Or if somebody's coming to visit and they want to hitch a ride, they can park their ship in there. Heading down a floor from the main pavilion, this is going to be the recreation floor, and you can't have a good cruise without recreation. These two rooms on the side are the other staterooms. They are exactly the same as the first one that I showed, just mirrored depending on which side of the ship they are. There are elevators that transition through the ship. As you can see, we're in the foyer, bar, lounge, dining, spa pool below us, hangar access. We'll get to those. Public water closets, very, very necessary and there's 4 of them here, as a full wet bar. Fully stocked, all the glasses. They've got taps. Nice open seating area. You can sit around the bar or up in a private area here. Community tables here. Still keeping those panoramic views that are so nice. More plants. Got to show off the plants. And I imagine this will be stocked with wait staff that are ready to serve you whatever drinks you're going to be able to. Anything you can think of, they're going to have it because you paid that ticket price. Some hollow views up at the top. Right now, it's just showing a lot of Origin advertisements, but I imagine you could get galactic satellite, get all your favorite sporting events, news, weather, things like that. This is the dining area. We have a buffet style dining area. Maybe they serve breakfast here in this way. Put the trays out. You've got your stack of plates and platters there, and you can just sit and enjoy your breakfast or your buffet style dinner. Uh, a more astute dining table. Meetings could be held here over dinner. Um, Big group gatherings, conferences, while still being wined and dined. I imagine a lot of money changes hands across this table. This is where deals are made. They say that deals are made on the golf course. No, deals are made at the dining table in the 890 jump. This is the peak of that panoramic window that we've seen sweeping through the ship. This is going to offer the best view of everything around. They incorporated the Origin oval into the lighting up at the top, and I think that's just great. Inside this room here, we were talking about the wait staff and working at the bar and working the buffet table. Inside this room here, this is going to be where they keep extra plates, glasses of champagne, champagne flutes, bottles of water, cutlery. Um, I imagine that this will be where they can transfer orders between um, the upstairs and the kitchen. This elevator does go directly to the crew kitchen. We'll be checking that out shortly, but that would be a direct line down there. Heading back out to the main pavilion. Just behind this accent wall here, this is mirrored on the other side as well, just that room over there. Escape rafts. Obviously, you don't want to have to use them. But like a parachute, it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. These escape rafts will allow rapid egress from the ship in the event of an emergency. There are 8 seats, and there's another escape raft on the far side. A total of 16 people can get out in the escape rafts. This is an elevator that goes down to engineering. We'll be heading down there in the very near future. Again, behind this accent wall, total relaxation paradise. To the right, we have saunas. I imagine that the smell of the steam, along with the wood choice here, it probably just smells absolutely incredible in here. I can imagine them sprinkling some fine herbs or some sort of scents over the rocks so that as the steam permeates the room, you just get aromatherapy at the same time. You have an area for your personal effects, your shower sandals, so your clothes to hang for when you're deciding to take a trip in the sauna. And then we have these showers here. Um, After you've saunaed it up and you're ready to rinse off from your experience, you don't have to go back to your room. You don't have to trot all sweaty and gross all the way back to your room. Just go right here. Just go right here. Along this far side, we have this hot tub. Beautiful waterfall feature here. And actually, if we look down inside, underneath, there's some sort of aquarium feature under there. It shows uh, almost like a fish tank. It shows the rocks, the underwater flora, things like that. Here's those 2 elevators that we saw just above us in the bar area. Some lockers, open lockers for you to just place your stuff down for you ready to take a dip in the pool. 6 chase lounges, some other additional seating, and then just this um, beautiful large swimming pool that you can climb into and enjoy. We're going to go ahead and actually call one of these elevators, and we're going to head down a floor. I don't know how I feel about the rotating elevator. I feel like this would make me dizzy. I mean, it must be some sort of corkscrew system to allow it to move that caused it to rotate like that. Um, I still feel like I would get dizzy. Inside these doors here are weapon lockers. Like I said, the 890 is not going to get itself into a fight, but it will defend itself to the best of its ability. And if there is boarding in progress, then the crew is going to be ready to suit up and arm up and repel that threat. Because, I mean, honestly, the VIP guests needn't be bothered. Oh, it seems I have a vehicle. Yeah, I didn't remember putting that in here. Uh, this door through here, as well as on the far side, that's those elevators that go up by the escape raft. Heading down into the cargo and engineering bay. Uh, this whole piece in the center is a cargo lift, extends all the way to the floor. I loaded up an Ursa rover for ground adventures. I imagine they'll have a Lynx rover in here in the future, or Origin, the G12, I believe. Yeah, the G12 Origin ground vehicle will probably fit in here very nicely. More engineering panels. I love the spinning Origin ball here. I believe that's the gravity generator for Origin. I very well could be mistaken. It could be something else entirely, and I just am completely wrong. The engine room. Now, a ship of this size, this magnitude, this scale is going to need massive, massive engine power. And just looking at the size of this thing is incredible.
I mean, you know that this thing pumps out power. This is even hard to look at. I mean, it is just it's ready to get the ship where it needs to go. And getting something this size out of a full atmosphere with full gravity, it definitely utilizes. There's another one in here, and they extend out to the engines just behind us. And you're going to use all that power, but they definitely generate a lot. We came out through that door here. Going in through this door, this is the secondary bridge. Worst case scenario, the ship has been boarded, the crew is down, and you want to get the pilot and the co pilot to the safest place possible in the ship, the heart of the ship, while still allowing them to maintain access to the ship's controls. This is going to be the most defensible position. The pilot seat and the two co pilot seats. They still have full access, just like they do up in the front with the windows. But this door, heavily reinforced. Look at the size of this door plate. I mean, that has to be 6 inches at least, or possibly more. Hard to gauge sizes of reinforced. I imagine some sort of steel or space metal. Um, but once that thing's shut, it it's going to take an army to get through there, and that will allow the captain and the co-pilots to maintain control of the ship's systems. I imagine they have some sort of lockout feature in here that even if the top bridge was taken, all of the controls would be locked, and they would still be able to maintain control here. Just the size of that door is insane. Escape pods for the crew. The crew aren't going to be taking the life rafts unless it's a maybe a private vessel with privately hired crew. They're going to take these escape pods, private personnel. I'm sure they're um, some sort of telemetrics in there, pre-planned destinations just to get them to safety with some sort of GPS system that allows them to be rescued. Um, but those are going to be last. I mean, that's ship is going down because the crew members are going to be expected to suit up, arm up, and defend the ship if something goes wrong. Um, if it's just a solar storm, nothing to defend, and the ship's going to go down, then they will be using that. This is that elevator that went up to that area around by the bar, that where the crew would send the elevator down to the kitchen. This is the main kitchen. Plenty of workspace for the crew to prep the meals for everybody. Nice big walk-in refrigeration unit here. Um, Everything that they're going to need is going to be fully stocked. As you can see, they've got a lot of herbs and vegetation, as well as vacuum sealed goods to make sure everything stays as fresh as possible. This is going to be the crew's kitchen, as far as where the crew will fix their food, where they will have their drinks, fix their plates, because this is the crew living quarters. You've got a nice big seating area here, little television for recreation and entertainment, a place for them to sit and dine and build camaraderie. Each crew member has a private room. Um, it's actually quite nice for the crew members. Closet, consolidated storage in there. You've got their probably twin XL size bed here with a private TV screen. Everything that they're going to need is going to be able to fit in there. And there's 8 of them, seven or 8, 7. There's 7 of them inside this room. Crew restrooms, kind of a communal dressing area here, and then 3 bathrooms. So you'll have your toilet, your sink, your waterfall shower, so that everybody can get ready in the morning. Um, with 7 people, I imagine that there's going to be probably um, there's 7 beds. I imagine that there's probably going to be 4 4 people on duty during waking hours, and then 4 or 5 people on duty, and then 2 to 3 people on duty for the evening hours. Some people want a late night snack, going to be working at the bar, things like that. So the 3 restrooms, actually, I think you would want one per. I think the 3 is enough because not everybody's uh, going to be working at the same time. They might have opposite shifts where one's going to be asleep and while the other ones are working. EVA suits. Obviously, you're not going to be wearing your spacesuit while you're working. So, if for some reason you need to make some repairs to the outside, you need to go outside the airlock, check something. This is where you'll keep your extravehicular activity suits so you can suit up and go outside. Recreation area for the crew members. Got a nice pool table here. Uh, I believe this is some sort of refrigeration unit. Maybe they can keep their some drinks in there, things like that. Pool cues, um, some sort of arcade game. That big ball in the center makes me think that there's a golf game on there. Uh, one of those one of those golf games where you use the ball to actually make your swing. Continuing forward towards the nose of the ship, down on the lowest floor. This is the hangar. It also doubles as a basketball court. And make sure that when you're playing a game that nobody's coming in. Underneath the basketball hoop. This is one of those man turret positions. This turret will actually invert and then drop straight down. It would be nauseating. It would be absolutely nauseating to be in that turret when it deploys if you were actually sitting there. But it goes straight down, and that defends the belly of the ship from a man turret perspective. And on the far side there is the upper turret. It'll come straight out at the end of the nose and defend the front of the ship. Also can be used to defend incoming ships from the hangars. Now, this entire central triangle piece here is a lift. It will lift from the ground all the way up and sit flush where the top shielding is now, so that a ship doesn't have to fly down into the within the walls of the ship. They can just land, sit right on top, and the lift will bring you down. Let's go ahead. I'm just going to open the doors, not send the lift, just to see that here. Now, obviously, we're still inside the hangar at New Babbage, but big 3-piece. Then it slides back, and those are real thick doors. They're not going to be gaining entry that way if somebody's trying to breach without causing severe damage to the rest of the ship. Stunning. Absolutely stunning. Now, I'm curious, from a gameplay standpoint, because I'm standing here in the hangar, even though that door's open, if I was out in space, I would still have an atmosphere in here. I would still have breathable oxygen. I'm curious if when they add depressurization, um, if they're either going to say, well, yeah, Origin has some sort of fancy atmospheric shielding at the boundary, or if they are going to have to um, update these doors. It says caution decompression, um, but right now these doors don't actually have an access panel. They are just proximity. I anticipate that they're going to have to update these doors with an access panel um, that has to physically be interacted with, because otherwise you could even just walk too close. Yeah, we have this airlock here. You're going to have to cycle right here. That's where they're going to add that. I ended up talking how it's going to work, and as I start to look for it, I actually see that the building blocks are in place. Awesome job, CIG. You're already thinking ahead. Go ahead and close this up here. Excellent. That's the end of the ship, the nose there. So heading back this other direction, this is going to be the waiting lounge. So perhaps you valeted your small ship and you're waiting for it to come back so that you can get in and take off. Perhaps they're doing some sort of expedition tours you paid extra for, and you're waiting here for your turn. Or maybe you have a friend, um, and they're coming in on their small ship, and you just want to hang out and wait for them. Nice waiting lounge there for the hangar. Beautiful, that marble with gold inlay. Sign for guests. Tell you which way to go. A tier 2 med bay is equipped to the 890 jump. Has a observation um, viewport here, as well as isolation controls. Um, Perhaps you got sick and you needed to be isolated from the rest of the passengers in the crew. They could isolate you in here, and they have a great ventilation system in here that makes sure that all airborne uh, particles are going to be taken care of. And as far as gameplay is concerned, this medbed is functional. It is a tier 2 medbed. It will heal up to tier 2 injuries, uh, as well as allow you to set your respawn to the ship because it has um, because it is treatment tier 2. You can set yourself on clone destruction. You can set yourself to regenerate on the ship. Now, obviously, if the ship is not in space somewhere, you won't. You'll just go back to your primary residence. But if you're going on some sort of adventure, and for instance, when persistent entity streaming becomes a mainstay, and you don't want to take this down to a planet, you could have your smaller exploration ship in the hangar. You take it down to the planet, but you set your regen clone to the med bay. So if something happened to you while you were planetside, you could regen back on the ship orbiting in space. That's going to be super useful. Because the larger ships, I mean, this one can make planetfall, um, but if it gets much larger than this, it's impractical. You're not going to want to make planetfall. If it's too large, it'll just get stuck, fall, and crash, and you won't be getting out. Um, or if it's something like this, it's so slow and bulky that it just takes too long to get in and out of the atmosphere. So you definitely would want to take a smaller ship. That right there. Oh, let's get an outside view. See this thing. Stunning. Just I mean, it has that wedge shape, like it's just going to seamlessly cut through space. Absolutely beautiful. But with that, that will conclude our tour of the 890 jump. If you would like to try Star Citizen, all the way through the end of the month, I believe November 30th is the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. You can try Star Citizen for free. All you need to do is go to the Roberts Space Industries website and create an account and download the client. You don't need to purchase a game package or a starter package to fly during this week. And there's lots of ships that you get to try out. And there's new manufacturers on display at the expo every single day. If you do sign up, use my link down in the description, and you will get an extra 5,000 starting credits when you get in, just to give you that little injection of extra credits while you get started. You can maybe buy some merch, grab yourself some weapons if that's more your thing. As always, I've been King Ridge, and thanks for watching, and hope to see you in the verse.